Welcome to Monster Territory, everybody. Brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. Final score today, Braves shutting out the Red Sox 5-0. Shutout for the first time on the year. They fall back to 28-32, 4 games under 500. I'm ready for this month to be over. I'm so done with the month of May. You know, it's funny because they got off to a pretty decent start this month, and then they just ran into all these issues, all this drama. I'm ready for the month of June. It's also my birthday in the month of June, so I'm excited for this month, all right? You know, let's just put May in the rearview mirror. I'm over it. But, I mean, the story of today, I mean, really nothing on the Red Sox. I mean, you're looking at Spencer Schwellenbach. Holy cow, this guy today. I mean, what the heck? I mean, this guy looked pretty good his last time out, but he didn't look that good the last time out, right? Gave up the grand slam to Rafi Devers at Fenway Park. The Braves ended up winning that game, but holy cow, this guy's stuff was off the charts today. I don't know. Did he have some of the secret juice from Space Jam or whatever it was, the secret drink or whatever you call it? He was looking great today. The Red Sox were no match against his stuff. This guy was pumping, 98, 99 on the corners. I mean, he was throwing cutters with high velo. Spencer Schwellenbach, tip of the cap to him. The Red Sox could not figure him out. On the other hand, Walker Buehler, he just didn't have his best stuff today. He was getting hit pretty hard today. Ronald Acuna got to him. You could see from the early get-go today that Ronald Acuna, the type of contact that he was making off of him, I was just feeling that he was going to get something good off of Buehler today. And indeed, he did, going deep off of him. Not a good day for Walker Buehler. To be honest with you, yes, Schwellenbach, he was the story of this game. But the story for the Red Sox today wasn't really on the field. Craig Breslow talking to the media today. We'll dive into the comments that he made. Brian Abraham, director of player development, he made some interesting comments today too. Cora talked about a couple of things. We'll dive into that. There's not really going to be much of a post-game breakdown today. I mean, we'll get into it, but it's going to be more focused on the comments made to the media from these guys. But before we get started, we do have some bills to pay. We do have a few sponsors for today, so keep that in mind. Don't hate me by the end of the show, but we got bills to pay. But let's get to the first one here, and we'll be right back.
I just want to say, before Arena Club, if you were trying to very actively buy, sell, trade, it was very complicated and used a lot of mail that was unnecessary.
Yeah, I didn't even know how to do it, but I'm glad we have Arena Club now because it's a one-stop shop for everything card related.
It is, and right now you can get 20% off your first slab pack or your first card purchase by going to arenaclub.com/FOUL. Use code FOUL. If you're a collector, you've got to check out Arena Club. Go get after it.
Alrighty, and as you can see here on the screen, we got a Marcelo Meyer card available on Arena Club right now. The 2023 from the 2023 Bowman Mega Box. Marcelo Meyer, number 7 prospect in all of baseball. He's off to a pretty decent start with the Red Sox so far. He got a hit today, nothing crazy. He's got a few games now without really doing too much with the bat. Had a great diving play in last night's game. And, I think Marcelo Meyer is looking pretty solid to start things off. To me, I'm just looking for this guy to contribute this year. I'm not looking for anything crazy. Just give us some decent production. That's all I'm asking for. But I'm very excited about what Marcelo Meyer is bringing to the table, both offensively and defensively. I'm very excited for the future of Marcelo Meyer with the Red Sox. So go check out Arena Club, and you can go get yourself a Marcelo Meyer card. And there's a whole bunch of other things you can do on Arena Club. You can go get some slab packs. And actually, I got myself a slab pack. And let's go take a look here. I'm going to open my slab pack with all of you here. And let's have a little fun here, shall we? So let me share the screen here. Let's wait for that to pop up. So again, on Arena Club, you can get slab packs, and you can actually open it right here. So let's take a look. Let's see what we get. Oh, that is loud. Well, here we go. That's pretty fancy. Take a look at this. Well, what are we going to get here? Okay, we got Andy Paez. That's not bad. Andy Paez is off to a very good start this year with the Dodgers, one of the top prospects in the game here. Looking like a future star for the Dodgers. Hey, that's a pretty good pull. 2024 Topps Chrome, Andy Paez. pretty excited about that poll. But go check out Arena Club. Again, they got a lot of great stuff over there. Use the code FOUL and take advantage. So let's get to it here. Post-game breakdown. Red Sox shut out for the first time. And like I said, Schwellenbach, this guy was absolutely nasty today. 6 1/3, 4 hits, 0 earned, 11 Ks. That ties a career high. What do you know? The Red Sox striking out left and right. 14 strikeouts on the day. That's 2 below their season high. It's the same thing every time. Listen, I feel like no one was going to be able to hit Schwellenbach today. You could have put the Dodgers offense. You could have put a lineup with Ohtani and Judge in the same lineup, and you probably wouldn't have been able to do anything off of this guy. He was just great today. Again, just the stuff that he had, the velo, it was off the charts. I mean, if you go here to StatCast, I mean, if we take a look at just all the stuff with Schwellenbach today, I mean, everything was so good. I mean, he was averaging 98 miles an hour on the fastball. The splitter had much more spin today. He was working in some cutters. He was working in some sinkers. He got so many swing and misses today. He had 16 whiffs, 47 swings today. The Red Sox are doing everything they can. 47 swings on the day, 16 whiffs overall. It's like, what can you even do with that? Again, I don't think anyone was going to be able to do anything against this guy today. But still, you want the Red Sox to come out at least battle, at least do something, try to get something, at least get to the bullpen. But by the time they got to the bullpen, this game was so out of reach. Really, the only thing of note for the offense today, you had the 4th inning. They got a little bit of noise going. Willie Abreu, Carlos Narvaez had base hits. So you had a couple of runners, but then Marcelo Meyer with the strikeout. But really, the only chance the Red Sox had today was to get a good start out of the starter, Walker Buehler, and he did not give that to you. 5 2/3, 10 hits, 5 earned, allowed 2 homers today. Did have 6 strikeouts, but the stuff was not there with Walker Buehler today. I'm taking a look at him. He threw a lot of different pitches. He threw 7 different pitches on the day. Everything was down with the spin rates. The velo was up a little bit on average today, but nothing crazy. He just wasn't really hitting his spots. The command was off. Sure, he got the 6 Ks, but he just left too many over the zone. He had a couple of fielding errors along the way. At least if you're looking for one bright spot, you had a guy go more than 4 2/3. So I'll take that, I guess, but not a good day for Walker Buehler. He ran into some trouble right away in the first inning. Acuna got on. That was where immediately I'm thinking, man, what is going on here, right? Buehler making the error, right? You had a ground ball over to first base, tosses it to Buehler, and Buehler took his eye off the ball, to go step on the bag. It's like you see so many of these mistakes with this Red Sox team, just like simple things that, it's like simple mistakes, right? But that it could lead to so much damage along the way. Like Seti, taking his eyes off of Connor Wong at third base in Milwaukee. It's like just mistakes that shouldn't be happening, fundamental things. And the Red Sox, they just keep doing these kind of things. But Acuna got on. Baldwin had the base hit after that. You got a big double play right after that to Marcell Ozuna, but then Matt Olson, he got into one RBI double to left center. Matt Olson's looked very good the last couple of games. He had Lucas Giolito's number last night, and he kept that going here today. So that double made it 1-0 in the first inning. Second inning, that's where the Walker Buehler error was. Apologies if I made that sound confusing, but second inning, he had the drop ball covering the bag. But again, it's like something you just shouldn't be seeing. Fourth inning, this is where it got really messy. Austin Riley with a home run to left. He had just missed a home run earlier in the AB, but that made it 2-0. Ozzie Albies with the walk. And then here was another one, pickoff attempt that went into the stands. And that's another one, right? Just throwing the ball away. That moved Albies up to second base. Michael Harris with the base hit. He hasn't done too much with the bat this year, but you're seeing a couple of things from him. That made it 3-0. And then Acuna with the dagger today, pretty much, with the home run. That made it 5-0. He had a hard hit ball back the AB prior. It was a deep fly ball to right field, and he knew he just missed it. He dropped down to a knee at the plate. and he's thinking, dang, I just missed that one. And as soon as I saw that, I'm thinking, oh no, Acuna's going to do something here today. But that made it 5-0, and that was pretty much it. Honestly, really, if you want a post-game breakdown, that's pretty much it for the day. Schwellenbach dominated. Walker Buehler was not effective. The Braves, hey, they hit well today. They hit well. Got a couple of homers. Did well on the bases. Good day for the Braves. For the bullpen, Bernardino came in. He got the one pitch, right? Then Nick Birdie, he came in right after him. Had a couple of innings. Nick Birdie looked pretty good today. 2 innings, 3 Ks. But, this guy's been pitching great down to the minor leagues all year. So let's see, Nick Birdie, how long is he going to stick around? We do have to talk about the pitching staff in just a little bit. Before I do get to Craig's comments, we are going to pay a couple of more bills here. I'm going to knock these out before we do get to those. So I'll be right back.
Sometimes we get the asks for lightweight hoodies, and I'm like, they exist. They're awesome at Rowback.
Without a doubt. Comfort, lightweight, durability. I wear these all the time. The color schemes are absolutely phenomenal.
Go check it out. You can use the code FOUL on rowback.com for 20% off your first purchase. That's FOUL on RHOBACK.com. 20% off all shorts, hoodies, polos, and more. Go check out Rowback. FT fam, you might have a boring, old, crusty, unpretty razor, and it might be expensive. So, AJ, should they consider another option?
Look how cool this is. Look at the color scheme. Look at it. Little sheath to hide the blades when you travel. Works great. I've been using this for a couple weeks now with Harry's. Clean, no bumps, no cuts. Works great. And you know the best part? It's a great price, especially if you use the foul territory code, Scott.
That's right. Harrys.com/foul. Guess what? You can also get yourself a no-risk trial. So if you don't like your shave, no worries. It's on Harry's. They're not worried about it. Get the edge on your shave with Harry's. Normally, the trial set is $10. But right now, you can get it for just $6 at harrys.com/foul. Use the exclusive link, harrys.com/foul, for a $6 trial set.
All right, let's get to the rest of the show here. And we did have Craig Breslow speaking to the media today. He had a lot to say. He touched on a lot of things pregame. And let's go to the Mass Live article. Chris Cotillo, you broke this down very well. And let's go take a look-see, shall we? But Craig Breslow touching on a lot of things, talking about the team, not living up to expectations, simply saying they're not playing good enough. The offense has been inconsistent. The defense has been sloppy. They're making too many mistakes on the base paths. They just got to clean up what they're doing. Going to have to play some clean baseball and get some big hits along the way. He talked about, someone brought up, maybe a shakeup with the coaching staff. He said here, I think it's easy to point to that and say, hey, maybe we need to do something to shake things up or rattle the cage a little bit. I'm very mindful of not making a decision irresponsibly or hastily. But again, I think at this point, we have to question everything that we're doing, including me questioning the work that I'm doing as well. We're all in this together. I think the solution is going to come from the group that we have, but I think that we have to put everything on the table. I'm going to be honest. You've seen teams make moves already this year. You saw it with the Orioles with Brandon Hyde. Obviously, that hasn't helped, but you weren't going to do anything with that team with the pitching staff that they had. I thought that pitching staff would be a little bit better than what they were. Holy cow, that is bad. But, still, they made a move, obviously with the Pirates, Derek Shelton, they made a move early on. The Rangers, they fired their offensive coordinator. Again, I still can't believe that's a term in baseball now, but they got rid of him. These teams are, and that's another team, right? The Rangers, where they had a pretty productive offseason as well. They were looking very good coming into the year. And they made some moves early on. And, again, but really, if you look at the Rangers, has that really helped? They're kind of still seem to be in the same place. Obviously, the Pirates, they got rid of their manager as well. That hasn't really done all that much. The Orioles are looking terrible. They're going to be clear sellers at the deadline. So I guess you could make that argument for the Red Sox, right? Where these other teams haven't really been able to get anything going even after those moves. So maybe you could look at the Red Sox and say, okay, well, they're trying to be a bit more patient with it. At some point, though, I think this is a big month for the Red Sox coming up, right? We'll see. We'll see, right? And I think that's very possible. That could have been something on the table here. They're like, all right, you know what? Clean slate in the month of June. Let's flip the calendar. Let's see how things go, right? We'll see. We talked about how we had the off day a couple of days ago, and I was thinking, right, going into the month of June, you want to build some consistent. You want to start building some consistency, but you also, you want to show some urgency as well. And they were in a tough spot going into that off day, and luckily they, picked up the win in Game 1 against the Braves. But you got to think, if this is going to be the same thing for the next couple of weeks, they're going to have to make some kind of a switch, in my opinion. I don't think that's going to be Alex Cora. He actually touched on this as well today. We have a lot of confidence in Alex's ability to lead this group. That doesn't mean that we don't have conversations every day about what we might be missing or what we can do. We obviously made a commitment to Alex. We're going to see that through. Right now, it's about making sure that we're doing everything we can to enable the 26 guys on our roster to help us win as many games as possible. I talked about this with Cora. I'm not on the fire Alex Cora train. I can understand the arguments where people are coming from, but still, I just don't think that's the right move. Because Cora has proven to be successful in a pressure cooker of a city, in Boston. So to me, I don't see Cora going anywhere, right? If anything, if there is going to be some kind of a shakeup, I think, could that be Peter Fatsi? Could that be somewhere else on the coaching staff? I don't necessarily think you're going to do much with the pitching staff. They just, Craig brought in Andrew Bailey himself last year. So I don't see him going anywhere necessarily, but I wonder if you could make some kind of an adjustment at the hitting coach spot. Maybe Peter Fatsi. We'll see. But the fact that he did at least leave that on the table, Craig Breslow, he says a lot of words. But if you focus on the, in between, the big bulk of words that he says, you will find that, in the past, he has been pretty truthful to his word, right? Even though you do got to dig through a lot of it, he's pretty consistent with what he says. So that tells me at some point this month, if they don't get this turned around, I think there will be an adjustment to the coaching staff. He did talk about player development. Talked about Roman Anthony. He reiterated that he doesn't want to bring Roman Anthony into an environment where there's more pressure to save the team during a losing streak. He also wants there to be runway for him to play every day. Again, I think Anthony should have been on this team even before the losing streak, in my opinion. I think he should have been up a while ago because you were seeing the inconsistencies with the offense. So, sure, is that hindsight? Yeah, but I think he should have been on this team long ago, personally. And I go back to what the Red Sox have said about player development in, the last year or so. They want to challenge their prospects. They want to put them in challenging situations because that's what helps them get better, right? You got to fail if you want to succeed. And to me, with Anthony, with the ability that he has, with how special of a talent he is, I think he's one of those few examples where you bring him up to the major league roster and work on those things. You just did it with Marcelo Meyer. I understand there was a need in the infield, but you could have made the argument some of these other guys could have taken over, right, and played there. Christian Campbell playing a ton of different positions, right? They're developing at the major league level. There's no prospects maybe not Christian Campbell anymore, but Marcelo Meyer, he is still a prospect, right? So if you can make the case for those guys, then why not Roman Anthony right now? Again, I do think there is some Super 2 eligibility stuff that goes into that as well. I think the Red Sox are trying to build as much of a cushion as they can. They're never going to say that out loud, but I think that ties into it as well. Talk about a few other things. He mentioned first base. Said there's a bunch of ways to address first base right now. The hope is that somebody steps up. Cora said Romy. Cora talked about some other things as well, the pitching staff, but he also mentioned that Romy is looking to be back next week. He started a rehab assignment today. So that's going to be nice to get him back into the fold. I would imagine when Romy comes back, Sogard is going to be the one that goes down. Sogard hasn't done much with the bat as of late. The bat's been cold. Abraham Toro's been hitting pretty well. So I think you're going to see Toro stick around. And then, hey, Christian Campbell, he's going to be getting the start, looks like, tomorrow against Atlanta. And there was also some words about Rafi. Chris Cotillo, he touched on this in this article that I have pulled up here. People within the organization are pessimistic on Rafi playing at first base. And he also talked about the reasoning behind the approach of Craig Breslow talking to Rafi before Alex Cora. Cotillo said that Craig wanted to talk to Rafi first so that it would help preserve the relationship between Rafi Devers and Alex Cora. I don't know, man. I'm probably the wrong person to talk to about this. But to me, it's like, I don't know, man. I think it's the manager's job to, tell his players, I get it. You want to have a good relationship. But at the same time, if the organization would like something out of you and would like for you to do something, funny enough, Lucas Giolito, he made a comment yesterday. I forget what the conversation was exactly. I think it was on when he got pulled out of the game. I forgot to touch on that in yesterday's post game, how he went 4 2/3. And he said to the media after the game saying, hey, I'm an employee. I listen to what they do or what they want me to do. I thought that was kind of an interesting choice of words a little bit from Giolito. But that's kind of where I'm at, man. Like, I get it. Rafi's been hitting the crap out of the ball as of late, but you don't have Bregman now. He doesn't have that protection. You've seen the difference with Bregman not in this lineup, with Bregman not behind Rafi. You have definitely seen a difference. I mean, he's gotten a couple of hits here over the last few, but he doesn't have that protection anymore. And I think Rafi moving to first, that could be your long-term answer there. And then, again, you'd have to figure out how to make it work, right? Get the reps. To me, I feel like because he played third, I've talked about this ad nauseum. I feel like, it would take him a little bit to get adjusted over there. But anyway, he has been hitting well at DH, but I think simply it just opens up that spot to be able to get some more bats into the lineup because they need more offense. I just think I don't know, man. To me, it's like the fact that you're talking about wanting to preserve a relationship. And I just, to me, it's like, why is that even a problem in the first place? Like, I'm not looking at the Band-Aids. I'm looking at what is the root of the problem there? Like, why is that even a problem to go and talk to the player? I get it. The whole offseason thing with Bregman and, third base, and I get that, but I don't know. It's just interesting. I find that interesting. Cora, he touched on the rotation today. Said Dobbins is going to piggyback behind Fitz against the Angels, but then after that, decisions will need to be made based off of matchups and days off. So we got a couple of updates. Cutter Crawford working his way back. He threw 4 innings of live BP today. He's going to be starting a rehab assignment next week. A lot of people have been asking, where the heck is Cutter Crawford? What's he doing? Is he sightseeing with Masataka Yoshida? Well, no, he is alive and well, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be on a rehab assignment next week. Tanner Houck, he's throwing right now. He's going to be throwing some bullpen soon. So the pitching staff is going to get very interesting here. Craig, he even touched on the pitching staff as well. Said Bayo, Houck, they've been inconsistent. I'm going to say this. If Bayo looked better his last start, I don't think he should have gotten pulled in that last start. I think he should have been able to go. I'm also going to touch on this with Giolito last night because I forgot to touch on it. With Giolito, I don't know, I was okay with him coming out of the game because his stuff was not looking all that good to me. I felt like that was a right decision, right time kind of a moment. I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, you got to let these guys go deeper." I was okay with it because he was giving up a lot of hard hit balls, and with the way that you're on a 5-game losing streak going into that one, you needed to win a game. So I was okay with even though the bullpen's been worked a lot lately. You had the day off. I was okay with that decision personally. Brian Abraham, he also touched on some stuff. Roman Anthony. It looks like we are maybe starting to see some momentum here. Told the guys over at Play Tessie on WEEI there were no promotions today, but a lot of excitement coming in the next couple of days. A little tease. Listen, I'm going to say this right now. I don't know, man. To me, I'm looking at that day off before the Yankee series. I mean, listen, maybe I'm sounding like I got a tinfoil hat on, but I mean, would it be completely out of the realm for Major League Baseball? Hey, Red Sox, man. Hey, listen, can you bring Roman Anthony up for the Yankee series? I could maybe help out with some ratings. What do you think? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess something about that Yankee series in the Bronx just feels like it. And you still got another solid week before that. I'm going to say Roman Anthony gets called up on that next day off before the Yankee series. Maybe the Angels. We'll see. I think it's going to be in the next week. So, I believe that is it. We do have one more thing to talk about. Garrett Crochet is going game 3 tomorrow. And listen, you know what? Yeah, they lost today. They got completely shut down. But the goal is to win the series at the end of the day, and you have a great chance to win this series. Garrett Crochet is one of the best starters in all of baseball this year, and you're going up against Bryce Elder. And Bryce Elder, he's been all right this year, 4.50 ERA, but, the last few starts, he's actually looked all right. 6 innings, 1 earned against the Nationals his last time out. With Bryce Elder, you're going to see a lot of sliders, a lot of sinkers as well. The Red Sox hit sliders well. They have one of the highest run values against sliders. Sinkers, not so much. So I'm expecting Bryce Elder to go heavily into that sinker. But to me, this is a matchup the Red Sox absolutely need to win. You got your pig, Bryce Elder. To me, I feel like this Red Sox offense should be able to figure him out. But everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. Thank you for joining the post-game show today. I will be back here tomorrow to react to the end of the series against the Braves. Go enjoy the rest of your night, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time.